going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Sean O'Hagan joins me. Sean, thanks for giving me some of your time. Happy New Year. How's things?
Do you know what? Things couldn't be better, to be honest with you. We're, everybody's back at gym. We've got dates pending, so yeah, we're all good.
Obviously, boxing takes up the whole year round. When you do get a couple of weeks off, or even a little bit of time off at Christmas, are you one of them people who can kind of take your mind away, or is it always still thinking and thinking about boxing?
No, I can separate things. I'm not bad with that. You don't have a lot of choice really with the amount of kids and grandkids we've got. You know, there's always something going on. So yeah, it's fairly easy to come away from it and then go back to it as and when we need to. You know.
Obviously, Rhys and Hamed Gaz are fighting at the top of this field. Really good fight. 2 titles on the line as well. Yeah, to talk to me about that kind of a local battle as well. So there's kind of a lot on the table in terms of the reward, and a lot on the table in terms of the fact that, like I said, it's a local battle, and it's going to be really good.
You know what? I think this fight it could be a contender for fights a year. Whatever promotion it's on, you know, this fight's got potential to be an absolute barnstormer. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Obviously, Rhys' last big fight was that defeat to Lee Wood. I didn't get to speak to Rhys after that, but I know that would have been hard, a defeat for Rhys that night. From what you've seen in the gym and the fights he's had since, how well would you say Rhys has bounced back post that defeat to Lee Wood?
I think firstly he's fighting at weight that he should be fighting at. He was never a featherweight, never ever a featherweight. I think it was a big ask, but opportunity came up. He wanted to take it. Who am I to argue? I can only advise, you know. But he's fighting at weight now that suits him. He's putting everything into this camp that I've never ever seen before from Rhys, and he's looking absolutely 100%.
Hamed Gaz, obviously undefeated as a professional. What sort of challenges does that bring in the fact that it's a man who has never been beaten in the professional ring? No matter how good they are, never been beaten as a professional. What sort of challenges does that bring for Rhys?
Well, firstly, I think because we have had that loss, you know, regardless of circumstances and weights, he's not scared about losing an unbeaten record. And you can tell that by his manner at gym and, you know, little things he comes out with. So we don't have that hanging over us. It's all right being unbeaten. And what you've got to do is look at quality of opposition. You know, he's 17 journeyman. You know, we could do that all his careers, couldn't we? First time he's in a fight, first time he's going to have anybody hitting him back with ferocity that Rhys Moll's going to bring. I think he's in trouble, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I was going to say, when it comes to Rhys, we know the punch power that he's got. If you're looking at it from an outside perspective, like you said, despite the fact that he's fighting an unbeaten fighter, would you say perhaps the money in this fight would be on a stoppage for Rhys?
Yeah, I don't like making predictions, you know, because boxing is boxing and you can make yourself look a fool, can't you? I think what everybody's looking at is Rhys Moll's last fight against Jordan Ellison. You'd be very, very foolish to look into that and think that that's Rhys Moll. There are a number of factors there. There were injuries, there were setbacks, there were last-minute replacements. So you can't prepare for anybody. This time we've prepared twice for Hamed Gaz. And he's going to get the Rhys Moll that's prepared for him. You know, so what I would say is, like I said, I think it's going to be an absolute barnstormer, but we'll see how he reacts when somebody's hitting him back, you know, when somebody shoves him back. I mean, we've seen him with Fakulin. You know, Fakulin were breaking him up with a jab. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't, his defence were all over the place, you know. And to be fair, I don't think he's been with this new outfit long enough for them to gel together, you know. I'm not sure that they can put anything into him that he needs or that were there before, you know. So, see how he reacts on that anyway, won't we, you know, because I'll tell you one thing for sure, is that he's in for 10 very, very hard rounds.
I mean, I know you're a straight talker, you don't like messing about when it comes to boxing. Sometimes these things can get blown out of proportion, the fact that 2 people have sparred, whether it's last year, 10 years ago, whenever. I take it you're kind of the impression that that is completely irrelevant in this fight.
Listen, sparring. You know, you don't put everything in. Sparring's not used to see who's the better man. It's there for you to practice things that you're going to use against a different opponent. So it doesn't always suit you when you're sparring, you know. You might be only looking for one thing from sparring. You might be looking for something completely different. But what you don't get in sparring is you can't take anything from sparring and then go and fight that same guy and think, well, we got better of him in a spar, or he did this in a spar, or we did that. Completely different. Anybody who understands boxing will tell you that sparring is only sparring.
Can't wait. It's going to be a really, really good fight promoted by GBM Sports. I do want to talk about Josh. Obviously, a disappointing end to last year. I know you spoke to Joe, one of our guys, that night. But kind of reflecting on it now, you've had time to perhaps sit back, watch the fight, and kind of see it from a perspective a couple of weeks on. Just your kind of feeling towards the fight between Josh and Lopez now.
Reflecting on that one, no excuses. I can give reasons. I think everybody who saw the fight would say that it was a close fight. We took over towards the end, we had him rolling several times. He had a lot of favours done by the referee. There were breaks in the fight of up to a minute. There were a lot of fouling, a lot of holding. He didn't really want to be there. To criticise ourselves and our own performance, maybe we started off a little bit slow. That were down at the fact that he went into that fight having healed from a terrible injury with that jaw. And he said himself he was a little bit reluctant to let his hands go early rounds. But as soon as he's warmed into it, then it was absolutely fine. I think they know that even their own guys were behind us, top rank, saying that he hadn't done enough. There was nobody more surprised than them, and particularly him himself, which would indicate then that if he really, really thought he'd won, why not have a rematch? Because they don't want a rematch.
Yeah, talk to me kind of about that situation. Obviously, weeks have passed now, so I know a few things would have been said, and I know there'll be more conversations to be had. So you're kind of saying on record that they are adamant that they don't want the rematch with Josh?
Absolutely, 100% adamant. Keep getting this dirty fighter thing. You know, what you've got to understand with boxing, that's the very nature of this sport, is that it's rough and it's tough, you know. Well, we've heard several things coming from Lopez's guys that talking about dirty fighters. Listen, I won't go into all that now because it just seems like being bitter, but you know, if he's a fighter and he's a champion, then champions fight, don't. It's simple as that. They don't pick and choose, you know, you've got to fight, it's simple. Want to fight Conlon, or want to fight Lara, or, you know, certainly don't want to fight us, and he's made that clear, he's made that 100% clear.
One thing we do know, well, I'm presuming that this is obviously going to be a much easier defeat to bounce back from than the Mauricio Lara one, so whatever happens next for Josh, it's still going to be something big, and there's still massive fights out there. It's, I suppose, kind of no different, still huge fights.
Of course there's massive fights out there. There's an elite level featherweight. He's proved that time and time again. Two-time world champion. He certainly didn't look to me like a fading fighter, you know. Apart from a little bit of a slow start, you'll look how he finished that fight. He finished that fight stronger than he has any other, really, you know. So yeah, absolutely, there's massive fights out there for him. And you know, there's not many people fill stadiums and arenas like we do, so I'm sure that there'll be something coming very, very soon.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.